the art and science of changing and improving the heredity of crop plant. So that was the definition, probably what I have just told you. Now, what is plant breeding? What you have to focus today. I am going to talk more about commercial plant breeding. So how it is different on that. So here just we have added one word. Like you learn about art and science. Now we added science, art and business because plant breeding is the business. As of now, you have seen that how billions of dollar seed businesses there in India. Almost if you think about the globe, $30 billion seed businesses there. So of course, this is fully relied on the innovations of the plant breeding. So plant breeding in today's now era, you can call it as science, art, and business of improving the plant. And what are the fantastic job breeders have done? This is one of the just one example. This is how the maize was at the time of evolution, and this is what the maize is, what we are enjoying today. So this is what the breeders' achievements are or accomplishments are. Let us see in the next, what are the fundamentals of breeding objective? So before establishing any breeding program, you have to set up the breeding objective. Now, what are the parameters for deciding the breeding objective? So if you focus it on, so you have to account about stakeholder needs and product attributes. Basis on these two, you have to set up this breeding objective. So what are the stakeholder needs? So first of all, see what are the stakeholders involved in this business. So number one, if you talk about organization, you take any like Nath Biogen, you take Monsanto, you take Seedworks, or you take anyone. So these are the organization. Or you can even think about some institute, those are there in developing the varieties and hybrid that I am calling an organization. You take about the growers. Here, growers, I want to say about the growers, those are producing the seed, as well as the growers, those are farmers, those are cultivating the crop. And consumers, those are you and me, those are enjoying this food 3 times in a day on the tables. So that I am calling as consumer. So these three of stakeholders we have to be considered while finalizing the breeding objective. So which stakeholder is interested in what? Let us have a look on that. If you see organization, they are focusing on profit with sustainable growth. You think about any organization, it is really in a honest sense is not a charity. Every organization have thousands of employees. Every organization want to grow. At the time of growth year after year, they have to also focus on sustainability from future point of view. So their focus is on profit alongside with the well-being of human and well-being of farmers. Of course, their major task is that so that they can take care for their stakeholder and they can keep investing for the benefit of farmer. If you focus on grower, so grower will always search. He will be always in the search of a crop with better productivity. He will be always in a search of cost of production so that he could get higher returns out of his minimal level of investment. And once he got some revenue or some profit, then that agricultural produce will be sold in the market and that is reaching to the consumer. Now consumer is again focusing on price, whether that rice is available in the market on what rupees or what is the cost involved in that, which variety cheaper, which is costlier, and all kind of value added traits. Also, he has to focus on the quality because if you even visit a small market, also you always go for selection while purchasing the vegetable as well as purchasing the food or even any kind of thing. So this is how all the stakeholders are there. So being a researcher or being a breeder, you have to be careful or mindful about all of three. And then accordingly, you have to define your product. So how to product has to be defined. How should be the product or the product what you want to develop, either variety or hybrid, which has to be better than the best. So of course it has to be superior. What is there in the market as of now? If you develop the product at par with that or lesser than that, no one is going to purchase it. So you will not be able to meet the need of any of these three. It has to be cheaper compared to the competition and it has to be delivered fast so that you can take the competitive edge advantage in the future. So these are the three aspects related to the product. Like product has to be superior, cheaper, faster so that it could meet all the needs of the stakeholder. And by considering all of that, you have to be focusful and define the breeding objective. So this breeding objective, of course, it will get vary from crop to crop. right? It has to be varied from crop to crop. But if you take in broader sense like yield, of course, all the crops as a breeder, you will like to increase in the yield of that crop. So it can be a grain for cereal, it can be a fiber for cotton, it can be a fodder for forage crop, or it can be the oil for oilseed crop. So of course, the commercially important produce what you call yield, that has to be your topmost breeding objective while setting up any kind of breeding program. Come to the second one, and that is quality. Once you achieve the yield parameter, then you have to be mindful about the quality. Again, the quality will differ from crop to crop. Like it can be milling quality for rice, it can be cooking for rice, it can be keeping quality for vegetable, it can be oil quality for oil seed, it can be baking and malting quality for beverage industry, it can be staple length fiber quality for cotton, and it can be presence of some toxic substances in some oil seed crop. So this quality have to be considered again alongside the yield. Next come to the agronomics. So agronomics, they all are the ancillary characters what will decide the preference of farmer. If you achieve any kind of yield level and quality, and if it get maturing very late, none of the grower is going to purchase that. So we have to be mindful about the maturity. The product has to be matured in the right duration, and it should meet the demand for the farmer. Growth habit, photosensitivity, dormancy, non-shattering, synchrony, and season, and everywhere. There are n number of objective what can be added in the agronomics. Stresses, yes, this is again one of the very important thing. So let us assume you achieved the yield, you achieved the quality, and you have also, without compromising the traits, you have worked on agronomics. Now the new product variety or hybrid has to be tolerant or resistant to the stresses. Stresses again can differ from region to region, climate to climate. Broadly, it can be salinity tolerance, high, low temperature tolerance, standability, disease, and pest. As I told you, 15 to 20% reduction in yield is by pest. I will share one of the very interesting invention of one of the research paper. It was quoting that if you could control the diseases caused by fungus only in the sixth crop, then we can feed 600 million people additionally compared to the today's yield. So you can just imagine how the diseases are playing the crucial role. So here I was just sharing you how to design the breeding object.